Awesome, I'm Sherry, I'm the nutritionist, and today we're going to take you for a bit of a walk around the supermarket. We're here at your local Foodland, where I think a lot of you would probably spend a bit of time. Later on we're going to talk about the markets and maybe take a trip around the markets, but today we're going to go through a little bit of Whole Foods and, you know, compare some products and what you should buy and what you want to focus on. Hi everybody, we're in the green section, so I'm going to take you through a few of the Whole Foods and the stuff you want to focus on, and really when you do your shopping, that's the first place you should come to, is your green section. Okay, lots of unpackaged foods, fresh foods, that's what you want to focus on. So some of your staples, your green leafy vegetables, if you can get them washed and clean and out of a packet, that's great. Otherwise, these pre-washed ones are pretty easy. But something you should always have in your fridge, the baby spinach. So easy to put into anything. Make a salad, it takes 2 seconds. Okay. Have rocket. Another staple. Not everybody likes rocket, but it's something that you can add into different foods, and it really is a good way to boost your green intake. You can mix it into salads. Adds a little bit of bitterness, a variety of flavour, as well as good nutrients as well. And you find it everywhere. So baby spinach and the rocket is easy to get. Okay. Another thing I want you to have a look over here. You've got your fresh salads are ready to go. They're normally fresher and they're going to last longer. The stuff in the packet, sometimes it's been packed before, so you want to make sure you've got a good sell-by date on there. Alright, always check that. Another great thing about the shops here is that we have fresh herbs. So try and always choose this, okay, or the actual real ginger itself and crush it. Alright, rather go for this than the other pre-packaged stuff, long life stuff that you find in a jar on the shelf. This stuff needs to be kept in the fridge, it's fresh. Alright, it's easy to use, adds good flavour, very little additive added to it. To buy your fresh items, it'll also be a lot less expensive. You'll pay more for something that's been processed and packaged, and it's got a best before date on it. It's going to go faster than if choosing a really good fresh item. Okay. Another thing to look at as well, coconut's quite an interesting thing. People used to say, oh, it's saturated fat, so I shouldn't have very much of it. But it's a natural fat, okay? It's better for you. Your trans fats, your hydrogenated oils, those are the ones that are bad for you. This is real natural fat from the coconut has actually been shown to help create lean mass and help your body produce lean mass. It actually helps prevent cravings. It gives you some essential fats as well that you need, and also it's really great to add into. It will help stabilize, increase your satiety, it helps your blood sugar, it will lower the GI as well, because fats lower the GI, but you don't want to add a lot of fats to do that. Alright, but thinking about whole foods rather than the processed item. Fresh strawberries, we want to think about having seasonal fruits. A few people have said, what about economy? Okay, so you've got to go for fresh seasonal produce. There's plenty of it available. Strawberries are a great example at the moment. Okay, lots of fresh strawberries, they're low calorie, great way to increase. They're a real treat as well. You can add them into so many things with some yogurt, some nuts, walnuts and seeds. Then we also have medjool dates. Alright, they're a good treat. They give you some nutrients as well if you're after something sweet. Or the protein ball recipe, that will be available to you. Have a look at that. That's got dates in it. You can take the pips out of them and you can blend them up. It's much better than using the drier version that sometimes has vegetable oil added to it. But try and focus on your fresh produce, okay? You've got asparagus at the moment. It's very reasonably priced. That's fantastic, steamed with a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of olive oil and some cracked pepper. It's such an easy way to have fresh food, okay? Think about watermelon as well. It's easy to go. Just chop it up, put it in a container. Again, you're getting high water content food, no additives, and it's sweet. Something, a nice crunchy treat. Okay, now we're talking about fresh nuts. So your fruit's good, your whole foods in your whole food section are good. The next thing we want to talk about is nuts, because they're nature's fast food. Alright, they're easy, they're available. You just want to choose ones that don't have added oil to them. So these nuts over here, your salted peanuts or your unsalted peanuts, if you read on the ingredients it says cottonseed oil on it. Any kind of added vegetable oil you want to avoid. How do we compare? If you look at these over here, these are raw mixed nut kernels. They have no oil added at all. You'll see there's sort of a little bit of a dusty texture on them, whereas the other ones have lots of oil sticking to the packet, which is not great. You don't want to be eating that oil. It's going to stop you from using the nutrients in the nuts, which is partly the reason why you're eating them. We've also got sugared nuts. Everybody likes these. The problem with these, it's very high calorie. far too easy to eat too many of them, and you're getting loads more carbs and the form of sugar than you really want. Alright, and then basic standard, always have these in your pantry. Raw almonds, they're so easy to have, they're easy to tuck in your bag, take with you. Ask any trainer what is the one thing that they'll have in their bag. It normally will be raw almonds. Soy crisps are another thing people often ask about. They think soy is healthy, so they must be healthy too. They're not, they're full of oil. Alright, very high. It's not really different to eating crisps. Very much the same fat content. Not healthy. Talking about seeds now and the benefits you get from them. You get a lot of nutrients from them, different variety of nutrients, your essential fats being important as well. It's a good way to boost your protein content. Here is an example of your really good quality seeds. They've got no added oils to them, but they're a mixture. If you get a mixture, you get a variety of different things. So Orchard Mix, it actually has a little bit of fruit in there, but it's got sunflower seeds and your cashew nuts as well. And then you've got your pepitas. Pepitas are really fantastic. They've got omega-3, magnesium, fantastic variety of nutrients that you want to get. Good to throw in breakfast.
And what about walnuts?
Walnuts, very high in omega-3. So they're fantastic. Your almonds, your walnuts, and the combination of pepitas, sunflower seeds. Sesame seeds, great to throw them over salad as well. They're very high in selenium. Tahini is another thing you can use on bread instead of using margarine. You know, don't buy margarine anymore. Try and use a little bit of oil, or your cottage cheese spreads. Dropping processed oil. Oil itself is still a processed item. I'd rather go for the seed. Okay, here we are in the egg aisle. Eggs are really, really convenient. You should always have them in your fridge. They're easy. You can boil them, take them along with you. They're a fast protein, a really easy fast protein meal. You can cook them really quickly, and you can take them to go if they're boiled, adding them to some salad. They're good for the whole family to have. You're going to get a range of different vitamins from them, some iron as well, but also just really good amount of protein. And you can cut out the yolk and increase the white, and you're getting one of the best available proteins that you can get out of most foods. Okay, here we are in the deli, the meat section. It's really a good way to buy food economically. Alright, you have your chicken breast is available over there. They often have specials. So that's a good one, good staple to always have. Try and choose organic or free range if you can. Alright. And you've got sausages and your processed meats. They always have added fats and stuff like that. So really try and stay away from that most of the time. Okay, at the deli, at the fish counter, you've got beautiful ocean trout, your salmon. It's a great place to buy it. If you're not going to the markets, that's also good. But it's fresh fish. You want, rather than buying your stuff that's in the freezers and the pre-boxed packaged stuff, if you actually read the boxed fish, it's got so many additives and flour. If you read the percentage of fish, it's minimal, sometimes 15%, which is, you actually end up with nothing of the actual item, and you're paying quite a lot for it. So rather buy the real item, much better for you, much better nutrition. Tastes fantastic. Do some lemon juice, herbs, and you're away. Alright? Packaged juices really are loaded sugar. They're very, very concentrated. They're going to send your insulin through the roof. You're not going to feel great after a short while, and it's going to make you more hungry. It's also going to blow your calorie intake out of the water. Alright? Also another thing you'll see, I'm holding vegetable juice here, and your V8, your smoothies, they are very concentrated, and they're probably the better of many of the various juices. They're a little bit less processed, but they're not fresh. Alright? They're not going to go off. They're going to stay in the cupboard for a long time. There's a problem with food that doesn't go off. Okay, they've processed it and heated it and treated it. Your body needs enzymes. You want raw food. So this week you'll see in the food plan I've suggested that you do your own carrot juice. Okay, carrot and apple juice. 100% better for you. Great way to start the day. Packed with enzymes. Right, but you need a juice extractor. Everybody thinks, oh, juice extractor, it's hard work. It's not. It's so easy. Rinse it off straight away, scoop the pulp out. You're off. You don't even have to really wash it with soap. All right, it's not difficult. It's just a matter of doing something new and getting into it. But you really do get the benefit of it. Rather, don't buy, processed juice. Hey, people often ask me about sports drinks. Here you've got a few examples. Your Staminate. This is powdered. It's very, very easy to make that far too concentrated. It's just really going to stimulate your insulin as well, and a lot of them have got far too much sugar, so their hydration ability is not exactly accurate. Really, a real hydrate solution, have you drunk that? It doesn't taste very nice, it's not very sweet. So think about that. just pure water and real whole foods is so much better for you. If you really do need, if you're an athlete and you're training long term and you're doing sprints and you're training all day in a tournament, then sports drinks do have their place. Okay, your Gatorade has a better electrolyte balance from what we've seen than a lot of the other drinks, okay, in a pre-mixed one. But really, for most people, it's just extra calories. Your rice milk, I've said a few times before, rice milk is much higher in carbs, so unless you're trying to put muscle on and you're trying to increase your calories, it's a good way to do it. But for the ladies who want to drop body fat, you don't want to have too much sugary stuff, okay? So here, that's where this soy milk takes a better position because it's got a balance between carbs and your protein, and it's low in fat as well. If you look, soy milky light, and a lot of people find this soy milk tastes a lot better. Okay, we're in the cordial aisle now. We're thinking about a family focus as well and getting the kids to drink more fluids, all right? Giving them cordials really, it just corrupts your taste buds. It encourages you to want more sugar and then less likely to drink water. So try and get them into the habit of drinking water. You'll find, you know, your raspberry, your cordials that have a lot of colouring. If you ever drop them on a carpet or anything, if you ever tried to get them out the carpet, imagine what that's doing to your insides. So if you choose a cordial, try and buy one that's made out of pure fruit, all right, and then make it more watery. Otherwise, watered down fresh fruit juice, even better, juice extractor. Try and get your children to drink carrot and apple juice. Extra virgin olive oil here. So if you're going to use oil, oil's still a processed item. This is a better of the lot. Try and use it in small amounts. Okay, we've got canola oil. You shouldn't have a lot of canola oil, it's high in omega-6. We tend to get too much of that already. It's highly heat treated and processed and bleached, and yeah, you don't want to have this oil. Don't buy it if you can, avoid it. Deep fried foods, yeah, you don't need, get rid of the fryer, bury it. Alright, we're going to talk about rice bran oil. The reason why I'm bringing the rice bran oil up is because it has a high smoke point. So if you're using a wok, okay, you can use this, it won't smoke, whereas your olive oil will smoke at a high temperature. So sometimes they say if an oil is going to smoke when it's heated, it produces toxins. Your rice bran oil won't. So in small quantities it is a good option, and so is peanut oil, and I think sesame oil as well. Grapeseed oil. Grapeseed oil is a good option as well. You can use it in salad dressings, but not in a huge quantity. You'll see in the food plan, I've suggested spray oil on your non-stick pan. This would be an example. It's olive oil, good quality olive oil in a spray can. You can actually get your pump spray bottles as well. Cans are not always great for the environment, so that's an option too. We're in the pasta aisle, talking about pastas a little bit. Pasta is generally just white flour. Most pasta is low GI, but you're only getting carbs. So if you are going to have pasta, don't have it often. This one has some spinach added to it, so you get a little bit of nutrients. Right, then you've got your wholemeal pasta. A lot of people don't really like the wholemeal pasta though, so if you're going to eat pasta, then just water it down with some good quality protein and lots of greens. Right, examples of your wholemeal pasta. You also get a variety of white pasta that's low GI, so have a look out for that one. I don't see it in this store here though. In the rice section, we've got your basmati rice. This is a favourite. It's very close to white rice, so yeah, it's got a good flavour too. So most people really enjoy this rice and they don't really notice the difference between your normal white rice. You've also got your brown rice. This is better. I prefer people to choose this. It's nutty and it's a different flavour, but it's really great to add as an option. Still not having a huge amount of it, but you get your two different varieties. Okay, in the meat section now, we're talking about good lean protein. We've got kangaroo steaks, really good lean protein, high in iron content, great way to boost your iron intake, also helping gaining muscle mass. We've got some steak over here, just want you to compare the fat content, right? We've got your Scotch fillets, really high. You'll see the fats marble through the meat, whereas on your fillet steak, and you don't have to use fillet steak, you can use other lean cuts of steak, cheaper cuts if you're looking for economy, but your fillet steak's fantastic, easy to cook, great to use, throw it to salads. You don't have to have a huge amount of it, but you can see it's much leaner per kilogram. So really, when you buy something that's full of fat, you're paying more when you consider what do you get from it. Okay, in the deli meat section, we've got some roast chicken, shaved roast chicken here. Right, that's going to be better, leaner protein. It says 97% fat-free. That's a better choice. It's still going to have some nitrates in it, but the whiter the meat, the less the nitrates. So if you're going to include deli meats, try and choose those more often, and try and cut out more high-fat salamis. You can see the fat content in here, but also they are very high in nitrates. The darker the meat, the redder the meat, the more nitrates. And nitrates cause cancer. You don't want to have that, so better to avoid it. Alright, we've got your other smoked hams, double smoked hams. Smoking process also adds some carcinogens. And then you've got everybody's old, standard old hot dog. Right, really processed, all the junks in there. Try and avoid these. Okay, in the cheese section, cheese is something you want to use in small quantities. It adds flavour, but it adds a lot of saturated fat as well, which you're trying to reduce. So going for something that's tasty cheese, but reduced fat is going to be a good way to add flavour, because you only add a little bit of grated cheese. Also, you'll see in the nutrition program, I've suggested the light Philly chili, or the light Philly cheese. This is just a plain one. Okay, that you can use instead of butter, so in wraps and things like that. So kick the margarine out. You don't need margarine, it's processed fat. Talking about children and families, this cheese is really, have you tasted it? It's like plastic. It's not real food, and it's got lots of processed additives to it. If you read the ingredients, it really isn't healthy. It's got butterfat in it. It's really high in fat. It's not food. Okay, in the milk section now, we're talking about yogurt. Yogurt's a good thing to add out of all of the dairy that you might eat. Yogurt's one of the good things that you can add. A small amount to breakfast, a little bit with fruit as a dessert. So we've got your A2 milk here. Try and always choose the low fat. And you'll notice if you read them, it's got not a lot of things in the ingredients. It's mostly milk based. Alright, you've got your organic. Try and choose organic. When it comes to milk and dairy products, organic is better quality. So you want to have less dairy and better quality, because we really don't need to have a lot of milk. Okay, so yogurt is a good source of calcium. You also get your AB cultures. That's going to be good for your family as well. But try not to, when it comes to drinking loads of milk, really, you want to have a more alkaline producing diet. So eating lots of green vegetables, right? Not processed foods. Otherwise you're going to just deplete the calcium out of your body. And that's kind of what kidney stones, you're excreting calcium. Kidney stones are made up of calcium. You're taking calcium supplements that you can't absorb from the same story. When you're talking about good nutrition, we think, oh well, for healthy teeth and bones you need to have a lot of milk. That's not necessarily true. You need to have an alkaline diet, an alkaline producing diet, that will enable you to really use all the calcium you get. So leafy greens, if you can eat nuts and seeds, all of those things have a lot of calcium in them. Okay, in the cereal section now, I think the best cereal is good old oats. You've got rolled oats or organic oats. That's the cereal you should eat, okay? Otherwise quinoa. This one is an example of your oats porridge, and it's a very processed one. If you read the ingredients on it, you'll see it's got a long list of ingredients. It's got wheat flour in it, a whole lot of things that you don't want to be having a lot of, alright? Whereas your real oats is the best one. Plain basic oat. The great thing to add to your oats are chia seeds. Now these are actually the first time I've seen these. It's chia shots, so it's a serving of chia in a little pack. Alright, but you can buy Dr. Chia is one of the brands you can buy. And it's really easy to get. You can buy a bigger packet, but you just need a tablespoon in your oats. It's got full of fiber. It's really going to suppress your hunger. It's going to contribute to your nutrient intake, good omega-3, good essential fats. Yeah, fantastic nutrient to add every day. Okay, we're talking about your pantry staples here. I've got lentils. Canned lentils are quick and easy to use. Real dried lentils, they take longer, more preparation. You can soak them overnight and then boil them, and they're pretty quick, but if you want to make something quick and fast, you can throw these through salads, you can mix them into a lot of things. It's a good way to boost your fiber intake, but also your protein intake as well. They're low fat, low calorie, and they'll get you feeling fuller for a lot longer. You've got diced tomatoes. Keep these in the pantry. It's a tasty way to add flavour to any meats and soups, casseroles, all of those things without adding a lot of other things. Alright, just pure tomato, sometimes with herbs, but really it's better to buy the plain ones and add your own herbs, because then you can choose a different variety all the time. Another thing, great thing to do, making your own hummus. You just blend a tin of these chickpeas, take the juice of 1 lemon, a little bit of pure extra virgin olive oil, some cracked pepper. You can even add some chili. Blend it all up, makes fantastic fresh hummus. So easy to do, so cheap. We're going to talk a little bit about breads and grains and processed grains now. How to go about choosing those things. A lot of people, they'll go and buy basic breads, right? Just white flour. Often they have other things added to them. They have non-molding agents added to them. A whole list. If you read the ingredients, it has a whole list of things. But it's also not what you're not getting when you have white bread. Alright? You'll see in your food plan that I've set out for you. Okay, when you go online, you make your meals. It will say Bergen bread. This is Bergen bread. Right, this is your whole grain, whole meal. It's one, the reason why I suggest this name is because I know that their ingredients are good. Right? There are a couple, you'll see a few different types of bread, and if you read the ingredients, it'll be wholemeal flour will be the first ingredient, then your grains added in and that sort of thing. The less additives, the better. Okay? Talking about wraps now, you'll see in your food plan, I've encouraged you to use your mountain bread wraps as opposed to your white flour based wraps. If you look at the actual calories per wrap, you'll see there's a huge difference. Okay. Also, if you look at the ingredients on the whiter ones, it's not just the brand. There's many different brands that use just white flour, and they will also use, a whole lot of other stabilizers and preservatives and things too.